Record. Welcome everyone to the pre-con workshop for Interest at Con. I'm basically going to share my screen and press play on a 36-minute video. And I don't believe in doing live demos because I'm notoriously bad at failing the live demos. So I basically pre-recorded and narrated everything. And I just want the way for this to work is if anyone has any questions, answer them or ask them in the chat, ask them in the question and answers. And we're going to just pause this video as we get questions and answer them. I will say is if you are following along with how to install the Kali or the Ubuntu, I am jumping time a few times. So the way that this is going to be structured is I'm going to go over Ubuntu and then I'm going to talk about a general topic, and just so that way everybody has time to catch up and make sure their Ubuntu install works. And then we'll do Kali, and then it's another general topic. So if anyone has any questions or wants more elaboration on anything, please ask all the questions. Anyone know if I should install VirtualBox as an admin or do that as a regular user? That's a question.
You should be able to do it fine just as a regular user. I guess it depends on your system and kind of what your user permissions are. You may need to install it as admin so you can do things related to like networking with your device.
Can everyone see my screen is the first question I have.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Very good and exciting. So I'm going to press play, and my name is Casey. I'm going to introduce myself again because I didn't know how much I was saying beforehand, but here we go. If for some reason y'all cannot hear the volume well enough, just also let us know. Hi everyone, my name is Casey. I'm here to kind of give y'all the introductory workshop for the upcoming Interest at Con in 2 days. And we're very excited that y'all are interested and that we get to do this in this time of just unknown and confusion. And we're really excited to hopefully help inform new people on how to get into information security and provide some resources and contacts, to just further your careers. So this is our Twitter. I assume you've seen it already, but in this workshop, I'm going to, using VirtualBox, teach you how to set up a virtual machine for Ubuntu and one for Kali Linux, because both of those are used throughout the course of the conference, and we just want to help you get those installed and set up because it can be a little confusing, and also it takes a good while to download them sometimes. So just to get all of that done before the conference would be great. I'm also going to do a little bit of talking about CTFs because we are going to have a CTF at our conference. We are going to have some volunteers to help at the conference with CTF problems, but I kind of just want to give you all some resources and just an idea of how you can go practice on your own as well. And it's not really mentioned throughout the conference, but we do think it is very important to mention in terms of the cybersecurity field as a whole. So I'm going to go over the cyber kill chain and some other things to do with that, just because it is very important for the entirety of the industry, and it is a good thing to at least know about as you are looking to transition or start a career in information security. So without further ado, all of these links are provided in the document that we sent out on Tuesday. I know we sent it out today. I'm sorry about, I say Tuesday a couple more times, just disregard that. And so you're gonna get the VirtualBox from downloads, virtualbox.org/wiki/downloads. And if you have a different virtual machine tool you prefer to use over VirtualBox, that is perfectly fine. I just wanted to give everybody a free and easy to use option. Also, a link that was provided was this download link for Ubuntu desktop. We're going to work with this 18.04.4 LTS version, so you'll just click this download button here and it will download for your operating system. All right, hey everyone. So we're going to start in VirtualBox today and install and set up our Ubuntu Linux. The reason I'm not live demoing this is because I've now had to do it 3 times. So you live and you learn, and we're going to click the new button. We're going to call this our Ubuntu, whatever. You can give it whatever name you want, but it's a type Linux and it's the Ubuntu 64-bit. So that is correct. Continue. I have just realized that my voice a little bit off from the video, so if that confuses anybody, please ask questions. I'm sorry about that. Make this memory a wee bit bigger. Virtual hard disk. What I learned in doing this before is that I brought down the gigabyte size to 8, which was not enough for it to actually install Ubuntu. So now we're going to do 10 gigabytes, which is the correct amount that you actually need to install Ubuntu. And the virtual hard disk option is, or virtual dynamically allocated disk size is the correct option, because that way it doesn't take up that much space on your device, that your host device that you're using. So for me, this Mac, yeah, you want it to not have to use all 10 gigabytes until it needs all 10 gigabytes. So this here is the ISO I downloaded today from the website. So we're going to open him and click start. This, depending on how long the install process takes, I might be muting or pausing recording so I can speed up the camera part of it. We'll play it by ear though. Not sure how long it's going to take. The Kali one I tried earlier took a while. We're going to install Ubuntu. My language is English. If your language is anything else, obviously changed at this point. We're going to move him up here just so I can see the audio recording is still going. I speak English and I have a US layout keyboard, so obviously if that does not match you, please change it at this point. We're going to do the normal installation, download updates while installing, because you might as well get that stuff done at this point. Sure, we're in a VM, so that's a perfectly viable option. I was saying sure to the erase disk and install Ubuntu option, just because that was way not on the same page. Sure, continue. That doesn't really matter to us right now. I'm relatively in this central time zone region, so I'm going to just leave it there. My name is Casey. Sure, all of this sounds good. I'm going to be a bad security person and not use a password for this demo. I mean, I think we might have to have a password, so y'all just don't get to see my password. Very exciting. Awesome. This is the part that takes about 12 minutes. So if you're live installing this now, hopefully you will be able to catch up. And Sasha is raising her hand. Is there a question? Oh. I don't know if Sasha had a question, but I don't see one. But awesome. So I'm going to skip ahead here for a second. Awesome. We have completed the installation. Now we just need to restart. Ooh, ooh. I know all this dead time is super interesting. We're close, isn't it exciting? Oh, we made it. Awesome. So now you'll just log in with your person. I clicked enter too briskly, sorry. Here we go. Awesome. Well, this here is your Ubuntu machine. Isn't it exciting? So it's basically like any normal computer. You have your Firefox browser, files, etc. If you click this button here, if it loads, you'll have a lot of your other applications listed that you automatically have on your machine. And like anything else, you can either download them from the internet, download new things from the internet, or from the Ubuntu application store here. But that's about all I have regarding Ubuntu. So we'll do Callie next. Thanks for bearing with the silent time. Maybe I'll play music or something during that time while we're waiting, or I'll speed it up. We'll see. Here we go. I obviously decided to change the formatting of the way we did the video. So that was the section on Ubuntu. Does anyone have any questions regarding that before we get up the cyber kill chain? Any panelists have any input?
Not this time, though. I did see there is somebody who raised a hand.
Yeah, there was a few hand raises, but I don't.
So yeah, if you have questions, feel free to use the chat or the Q&A to ask those, and we'll answer them.
Alrighty, well, Cyber Kill Chain by Lockheed Martin. Y'all ready? Right, so now we're going to talk about the Cyber Kill Chain. It was originally developed by Lockheed Martin, and it is the process or journey, so to speak, of how a cyber attack happens. And you can look at it from generally two sides, the red teaming or attacking cyber side, or the defending blue team side. From the attacking side, you will likely go in this general, you will go like through each of these steps in the process of your attack. And you will do reconnaissance on your target. You will weaponize and then deliver your malware. You will exploit the machine for your goal. You'll like add or install persistence and set up your command and control to your final end goal, which in this case is like exfiltration, but it could be ransomware, et cetera, et cetera. As a defender, you know an attacker is generally going to follow these steps to attack your organization. So you are wanting to stop them as early along in the kill chain as you can, whether it's, if you can detect reconnaissance, you want to be able to stop them at that point. If you can detect exploitation, you want to have preventative and stopping measures here in the middle. And like I said, this was originally developed by Lockheed Martin. They have a whole section to check on their site, and the link is. I'm gonna just pause it really quickly. The question from Tom about VirtualBox giving you an error. I would recommend trying a few things. I don't personally know exactly what to do with that error that you sent in, but maybe try giving your virtual machine more memory and more memory and see if that changes it, or maybe try using a different downloader or something like that. Does anyone else on the panelist side have any suggestions short of just Googling what that error means?
Yeah, I've actually got a couple. So that error could give you a couple of reasons behind it. One can be a mismatch between 32-bit and 64-bit systems. If you have never done virtualization before, it's also possible that your computer hasn't had that enabled and you have to go into your BIOS to make sure that it's enabled.
Did anyone else have any thoughts on that question? I think Adriana did a great job of answering it.
Yeah, I think that was spot
Yeah.
on. And if you need help figuring out how to enable virtualization on your device in the BIOS, we can try to work with you outside the session, perhaps, just to make sure that you are up and going.
If anyone has a link to an awesome YouTube video teaching you how to do it, please post that in the chat for Tom or anyone else who might need help with that. Back to the Lockheed Martin kill chain. Document provided to you on Tuesday for the cyber kill chain reconnaissance. And here it says it entails harvesting email addresses, conference information, etc. Weaponization is coupling exploit with backdoor into deliverable payload. Deliveries, delivering the weaponized bundle to the victim. Exploitation is exploiting the code or a vulnerability to execute code on the victim system. Installation is the installing of malware on the asset, which allows you to set up your command and control, which is where the malware talks out to the adversary's infrastructure. And the actions on objectives, or like on the other diagram we saw, could be exfiltration or ransomware or anything else. This link is provided to you all. I did want to highlight the MITRE attack matrix. They took the Lockheed Martin kill chain and added techniques, tactics, and procedures, or TTPs, for what all of these steps are. The reconnaissance is largely represented in this pre-attack matrix because it's what everything that happens before your attack. The enterprise matrix goes from initial access all the way to the the actions on objectives, or exfiltration in this case, and then the impact that it had on the victim's machine. So these are all very good resources to utilize, to understand, and they've all been provided to you. A thing to note here is if you're looking at execution and you want to know what executing a dynamic data exchange is, here in MITRE, you can click on it. It'll give you a whole lot of information regarding this tactic. MITRE is awesome and everything has a tactic, technique, procedure ID, TTP ID. And you can also see which known actor groups utilize this technique regularly. So all of this is very good and important when you are wanting to understand the process that goes into an attack, if you're wanting to be a red teamer, or how to defend against an attack as a defensive or blue teamer cybersecurity professional. Hi everyone, we are now going to download Kali Linux, and we're going to download it for VMware's VM player. there's not a free version of VM Player for Apple computers. So if you do have an Apple computer, you will have to do the ISO version. But I just wanted to give people a different option for a different virtualization software and a different way to install Kali. So as you see on the video, we've navigated to the Kali website. We went to Kali virtual images, and now we're going to select the VMware 64-bit image here. And so you'll download it. Click OK. It's going to take a while to download, and which is why we're going over all of these things tonight, and hopefully you may have downloaded it already.
Something to note is if you are comfortable with torrenting and you're already set up to do that, the torrent link does take a little bit less time, but don't feel like you need to do that. Both downloads will get you the same thing.
And just a statement for torrenting, I wouldn't consider it to be a bad thing, and it does help you with download speeds, like Kellen mentioned. So it's not automatically a bad thing. It is just a peer-to-peer download and sharing thing. So it can be, unfortunately, used for evil, but by itself, it's fine. There has been a follow-up for Tom. I'm going to copy and paste this link into the chat. So Tom, this might help you with your virtualization if the BIOS is indeed the problem. And yes. Was there any more questions? Okay, no more questions at this point, so we will continue. This is Kellen's lovely recordings, by the way, so we thank him for his assistance, because I was unsuccessful at installing Kali 4 times, and then I gave up.
And that's about it for this one. And once it's downloaded, you will save the file, and that's it. All right, we just downloaded our VMware friendly Kali Linux distribution ISO image, and so we're going to navigate to our downloads folder, locate it, and right click on the Kali Linux and extract the files with 7-zip or any other extracting tool you prefer. It's going to take a few seconds. There's some nice silence on these videos, both for the Ubuntu and this one as well. And now double clicking on the Kali Linux 2020.1 tag VMware AMD 64 VMX file, this will launch our VMware Workstation Player. And once it launches, you'll need to go and press the play button and to power on the machine. And so you copied it. And now you'll just go through the normal Kali installation steps.
I should have said Kali booting steps because you downloaded the prepackaged thing that's already all nice and installed. So you're just basically booting Kali here. And one other thing I was going to note for Kali 2020, if you've ever used Kali Linux before, you were automatically given root privileges and it was awesome. You did not have to elevate your privileges using sudo for anything. That is no longer the case in Kali 2020, which I mean, good for security, but annoying if I'm trying to use it in a VM for hacking things. So I will just like do a blanket statement, make sure your password is something that you can remember. It is not impossible if you forget your admin password to go and change it. It's just is more work than we would like want to provide for any beginner just using Kali. And you do also have to type it in a lot because a lot of the reasons you use Kali will be for things that require administrative privileges. So short and sweet. Continuing the video now.
Look at that, you have Callie. All right, I just wanted to give you all a little bit of a rundown on what a CTF is. This whole article is one of your provided links for.
Just before we totally change topics into CTFs, I want to ask if anyone has any comments or questions, because I know everything's been covered very fast. This will all be available, but I'm just trying to make sure we don't miss anything for anyone. And if any of the panelists have any input they'd like to add, you're welcome to as well. Take that as a no.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, if people are getting everything from this, that's awesome. I just want to make sure we're not going too fast. CTFs are fun. Here we go.
Information, but basically a CTF is a capture the flag competition where there is different categories and hacking or defensive topics that you are searching in code or in network traffic or in open source information for a flag that meets a certain requirement. There is an answer to every problem, and it's very fun. CTFs are really great for expanding your knowledge base, and you're getting more wide varieties of hacking experience. And if you do well in these CTFs, then you can even put them on your resume, so they're good. It's a good way to do extra work outside of your normal job to put you over the top professionally and for experience. CTF Time, this right here provides details about every upcoming CTF. They're good to know about. These are the kind of different challenge types that that you commonly see. There is other ones as well that are in CTFs, and certain CTFs have themes focusing on just one challenge type. So there's a lot of different kinds of CTFs. I recommend as a beginner looking into participating in Pico CTF. It is aimed at middle and high school students, and they have a lot of different wide varieties of hacking CTF challenges, from very basic to slightly more complicated. And fun fact, you can play it year round. So after I go through another couple of resources, we'll come back and I'll show you how to do one of the challenges, for example. Over the Wire and its war games are really good at helping you to get better and gain more experience using the Linux terminal and command line systems. And they are definitely they're not really as much of a CTF, but there is a goal that you have to achieve in each level. So 10 out of 10 recommend doing it. It's really fun. And there's a couple of there's all these other resources in this article that I would recommend checking out. And you can always go and read write-ups from previous CTFs. What write-ups are the solutions with excruciating detail to CTF questions and problems that have already happened and passed. Hack the Box is also very cool and exciting. It's more offensive security focused, and there is a premium and a free tier that you can get more and less access to certain things that they do, but they do also have themed CTF style challenges as well. This article is generally great. Thank you, Atan at dev.to for coming out with this article. But yeah, I'll go through some.
Before I touch on Pico CTF, because y'all will get to see me do, I think, 2 questions maybe. We did get a question about where these resources in this article is found. We did send out an email today, and we'll go ahead and make sure we send out another one for the people who attended this tonight from our conference email that we had a PDF attached to it. In the event we sent it out before you had registered. And yeah, Can we do that, Kellen, and send out another?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can put it in Google Drive and just drop a link in chat to share with you all.
Oh yeah, but just yeah, that would be really good as well. I would just maybe recommend sharing the PDF version. So cool.
Yep, definitely.
So link incoming if you were not able to, if you did not receive this in an email earlier.
Pico CTF problems. All right, so now I'm back. I have created my account. You have to verify your account with an email before it'll let you do anything, but over here is where you get to the challenge problems. And yeah, so there's a bunch of different things you can do. There is usually within Pico CTF a game, which is this one, so we're not gonna do that one, but we can try, let's try this let's warm up problem. General skills, it's unsolved. If I told you a word started with 0x70 in hexadecimal, what would it start with in ASCII? So what I'm gonna do is take that value and go to what is called CyberChef. It's a great time. You can just, if you Google CyberChef GitHub, it'll come up with this awesome deal. So we're gonna, and this is my input here, and I want to do it. It's from hex to ASCII. I didn't actually check that. Yeah, so from hex. So maybe it starts with the letter P. So if I go back over here and Pico CTF, and maybe the flag is the letter P. Woo, that is correct. That's awesome. So we'll do another one. See what we can find. And I'll make sure I put the link for CyberChef into the CTF information. The numbers, what do they mean? Let's see what this is. All right, I am downloading the numbers. It downloaded as a PNG. So on my Mac here, I'm going to, I haven't used this terminal in a while, so I need to update it.
Y'all are gonna realize right now that I've not used my non-work computer terminal in a good while, and that strings, the file, the function, or the command I'm about to attempt to run does not actually work. So bear with that.
We'll do that later. I'm going to move and change directories, CD, into my downloads folder. And I want to get the file type on this, the numbers PNG, because I want to make sure it's a PNG before I open it as a picture. Okay, it is a PNG. Are there any strings I can pull out of this? I'm sorry, the numbers PNG. I might need to update my stuff here, but we'll assume it's a normal picture. So I bet these numbers here, if put into CyberChef, there's a lot going on my screen. I apologize. But I bet if we put all of these numbers here, 315, 326. I bet if you do this like from base 64, maybe. Well, we're gonna throw away him. Nope. Here, let me see. ASCII. I bet if we, ooh, actually, no, I know what this is. This is here. This is gonna be like an alphabet value, so alphabet value numbers. Voila, this one. I would like to see this 22 more rows. So if we split screen, we're gonna tile him left, we're gonna tile you right. Oops, I don't wanna, we're gonna go back to, sorry about this, everyone. didn't think about sharing my screen with this, but we're trying to see the Pico CTF problem. So we're on the numbers. And I bet this first part is Pico CTF before the colon. So we can, if what the value 20 is in the alphabet is maybe T. Pico CTF. I'm gonna write them all down on a piece of paper just because it'll be faster, but also we're gonna make them smaller so we can actually see it all on the same screen. So if 20 is T, 8 is H, 5 is E, 14 is N, 21 U, 13 M, 2, I bet this is going to be the number, being that the next one is 5 is E, 18 is R, 19 is S, the numbers, 13 M, 1A, 19 S, 13 sorry, 19 is S, 15, I dyslexiated a little bit there, MSO, 14, and the numbers Mason, I bet that's what it is. So we'll go in here and we will check. I'm gonna assume it's lowercase. The numbers Mason is the value we got. Submit, that's incorrect. So let's try it caps. Numbers Mason, also incorrect. Try it one more time. Just the first letters being capital. All right, I'm wrong, but what is the hint? Oh, Pico CTF, so does this need to be capitalized? Which means it's probably all caps. Oh, see, that's right, awesome. Look at us, we did it. I kind of thought about that because there's a bunch of values less than the number 26 and there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and that's a common like easy style cryptography. And let me see if I can get you like an easy reverse engineering. So let's try this one. Your mission is to, I'm not going to read this out loud, but so let's look at the source code of this. I want to show in Finder, and I'm going to open it with my preferred text editor, which is Sublime, but there's a whole bunch of different ones. You can use just a general text editor. So it looks like this is our code that we see, and I bet this here's our flag. That's exciting. I would say, like this comment here, that it is not safe to put the source code in the password. If you didn't want to open the source code like that, that's the wrong one. We need to go over here. Yeah. I forgot to put it in the Pico CTF flag, sorry. Wow, look at us, we got this.
And that is the entire recording. I apologize for the typing being so loud. Does anyone have any questions, or do any of the panelists have anything else they want to mention for the sake of the workshop?
Well, actually, there's a couple things. First of all, those were all, those are one style of CTFs. You'll have others, just so everybody is aware of this. You have some that are meant more head-to-head competitions. You'll see that in some conferences where they'll do like a pros versus Joes sort of thing. Some CTFs are very defensive oriented. Some of them are like for forensics. So there's a whole lot of them out there. So if you find, if there's an area that interests you, there's probably a CTF that does it also. Actually, our sponsor for tonight, Corelight, they do one for stuff related to Zeek and their product, the Corelight product. So there are lots of them out there for whatever you're interested in. The one thing I also want to mention is that we will, as you've probably gathered, we are running a CTF over on Saturday also. And there will be a webinar, a Zoom webinar specifically for that. And a couple of times during that day, we're going to have people kind of going through walkthroughs, similar to what Casey did there during it.
And just so everybody's clear about the CTF this weekend, it isn't a competition. It is a learning experience. So we're going to just be there to solve challenges together. And there isn't going to be winners and losers. It is entirely focused on learning.
And the CTF this weekend, once everybody's up and running in the conference, information will be in the Discord about it, and the Zoom links will get posted in the CTF specific channel in the Discord as they're going, whenever the live demos are going to happen. For Duncan, Johnny, yes, there's other forms of CTFs. Some are like basically what Jives was saying. There is definitely different formats of CTFs. Most of them are like it. Well, not most. A lot of them are this normal Jeopardy style CTF, which is what they call the one with specific categories. But that's definitely not the limit for CTFs. Well, if there's nothing else, thank you all so much for coming, and we're very excited to see y'all on Saturday, or virtually get to hang out at least. I don't know about see.
Yeah, so just keep your eye on your email. You'll get a reminder email about the con 24 hours before and an hour before.